A 9-month-old baby boy died last month, June 26th, after his 17-year-old mother, whose name has not been disclosed, was accused of putting enough fentanyl into his feeding bottle to kill approximately 10 people. Tragically, 9-month-old baby Elijah died. A medical examiner's report has since confirmed that he did die from an overdose. He had enough fentanyl in his system to kill approximately 10 people. 9 months old. The mother went under a series of interviews with officers, with investigators. Guess what? That's right. She didn't know anything about it. No, not her. Well, certainly that was her initial story, that she didn't have any idea what happened to her 9-month-old baby boy, why he died. Over the course of the interviews, she did confess. So at this point, I'm going to applaud the investigators. They got the confession that family and friends require. So the 17-year-old mother has confessed to knowingly and purposefully putting narcotics into her 9-month-old baby boy's feeding bottle. However, she claims that she didn't realize it was fentanyl. She claims that she thought it was cocaine. And why the heck, might you ask, would a mother, 17 years of age or otherwise, put cocaine into her baby's feeding bottle? Well, the mother put what she thought was cocaine into Elijah's feeding bottle because she was tired, she needed to take a nap, and she thought the cocaine would send Elijah to sleep. Yes, that's the mindset of this absolute lunatic. She put fentanyl into her baby's bottle, believing it was cocaine, so that the baby would fall asleep. That's her reasoning. I've got to question the mental capacity of this mother. So we're told that police were called on June the 26th to the mother's home in Callahan, Florida, in regards to a 9-month-old baby boy not breathing. Authorities found baby Elijah without a pulse on the living room floor. Officers tried CPR, but tragically, Elijah was pronounced dead at the Jacksonville hospital. Again, the mother denied any involvement at first, but eventually, due to the persistence of officers, of investigators, she did confess. Although she says she didn't know it was fentanyl, she thought it was cocaine. And at this point, she's facing charges of manslaughter, aggravated manslaughter, as well as possession of narcotics. Of course, full condolences to the family of baby Elijah, notably his father. We're told that his father, whose name is Philip Word, didn't have much, if any, involvement with Elijah's life, which he regrets. And he does state that if he were told that the mother was struggling, that the mother needed support, that the mother needed help, he states that he would have stepped in, he would have helped, if only he had been told that the mother was too tired to safely look after baby Elijah. So full condolences to the father, Philip Word. I'm going to be a little bit inappropriate perhaps by saying it is a shame that he wasn't involved in his son's life. That is a shame. That is a loss, especially when the mother is clearly so incapable. Presumably, the mother is a habitual drug user. To have fentanyl in her home, what she believed to be cocaine in her home, what sane person, or what person with a half-decent IQ would give what they believe to be cocaine to their child? It's just beggars belief. Elijah needed the father in his life. Elijah needed somebody that cared, somebody who wasn't completely low IQ to provide him with safety. So it is a shame that the father wasn't involved in Elijah's life. But having said that, I don't wish to blame the father too much. He wasn't involved in Elijah's death in any way, shape or form. An investigation is still ongoing, but the medical examiner's report has confirmed that baby Elijah did die due to a fentanyl overdose. The mother has confessed to putting what she believed to be cocaine into baby Elijah's feeding bottle. So I'm not too sure how much more of an investigation is required at this point. I'm going to make a few comments. If we're to ask ourselves, what can we learn from this situation to help avoid it in the future? Then some suggestions might be, well, who knew that the mother, the 17-year-old, was an habitual drug user? Did her family and friends know that? If so, come on, family and friends. You needed to have stepped in. Will they face criminal charges? No, probably not. Did the authorities know that she was an habitual drug user? Well, if so, they absolutely should have stepped in. The Department of Children and Families, if they had any understanding of the mother's drug use, they needed to have acted sooner to remove Elijah from her care. We don't know that's the case. I'm just saying if it's the case. If they did know about her habitual drug use, they ought to have taken action. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say if the authorities, if the Department of Children and Families were aware of this mother's lack of mental fortitude, then they ought to have stepped in, or perhaps they ought to have stepped in. This is a woman, 17-year-old woman, who thought it was okay to feed her child cocaine. I mean, come on. I'm being reasonable when I say she lacks mental fortitude. I'm being polite. And I've got to presume that those around the 17-year-old mother must be aware that she is not mentally competent, not mentally strong enough to be a mother, certainly unsupervised. So I don't know, this is annoying me, to be honest. I feel that the mother perhaps needed support, perhaps because of her habitual drug use, and perhaps because she's barely got 2 brain cells in her head. Not that I'm trying to give the mother a pass. I guarantee the mother will be given a pass. I've read too many articles like this where when it comes to sentencing, the woman, the female, despite their level of guilt, despite their level of involvement in the death of a child, they get relatively light sentences, and I guarantee that's exactly what's going to happen in this case. There's going to be multiple reasons for it. One, her age, 17 years old. Number 2, she's going to claim, oh, she's a drug addict, she wasn't in her right state of mind. They're going to claim that she was a single mother, the father didn't have any involvement, she didn't have any support. They're going to claim that she's not mentally with it, and most of all, they're going to claim that she has a vagina, and for that reason she needs to get a light sentence. Yes, I'm being a little facetious, but only because I've seen way too many articles, cases like this. When it comes to sentencing, women get a pass, and I'm assuming my conclusion is that the main reason women get a pass, get light sentences, even when they're found in front of a court of law, in front of a jury, in front of a judge to be guilty of murder, of manslaughter, they get a pass, they get a light sentence because they have a vagina, because they're female. I don't see any other reason for it. So I guarantee this woman, again, her name has not been disclosed, is going to get off with a slap on the wrist. I would not be shocked if she serves no jail time whatsoever. Perhaps she'll be given probation that she has to serve under house arrest, something along those lines. If she is given a jail sentence, it will be short. Now, I could be totally wrong. I'm no expert at this. I certainly don't know too much about the Florida legal system or the sentencing that occurs in Florida. I just know that women get too much of a pass, and I can see that there are several angles that the defense could argue to request a light sentence, and seemingly that's what happens for women, for females, for vagina bearers. I'm not trying to be offensive, by the way, just expressing my thoughts. I think I've covered everything here. I don't think I've got anything more to say. Again, full condolences to the family of 9-month-old baby Elijah. His father in particular, it's a shame that he wasn't involved in his life, in Elijah's life, but it is what it is. We don't know the full circumstances. Perhaps he wanted to be, perhaps he wasn't allowed to be at the mother's request. We don't know. So I'm not going to blame him, but I will say that it is a shame that he wasn't there and that no one else was there to give Elijah more protection. But ultimately, that protection needed to have come from Elijah's guardian, which was his mother. So it is really solely, do I believe that? Well, certainly primarily the mother's responsibility to have protected her son, and she absolutely failed to do that. She literally knowingly fed her own son hard narcotics. She thought it was cocaine, it turned out to be fentanyl. Either way, she gave her own son a drug overdose, and she really ought to be punished heavily for that, but she won't be. I'm going to wrap things up at this point. Thanks for listening. Don't listen to too many of my videos. I'm going to be trying to make 2 or 3 a day, something like that, and I might not be able to do it. I used to try to make around 10 videos a day. I'm not going to be able to do that moving forward, but please do continue to support the channel. Give me a thumbs up every now and then, and take care.